Namaste, viewers. Welcome to Gnana Degula channel. In this episode, we will see the story of Jarasandha. It's a very interesting story, how he took birth and all those kinds of stories. He is a very prominent character in Mahabharata. He was killed by Bhima. Character in the sense he was a villain. He was a wicked man, and all wicked people are called as Rakshasa, something like that. Now, before we go to the story, may I request you to like, share, and then subscribe to our channel? Please do it. The story of this birth of Jarasandha is an intriguing tale filled with symbolism and meaning. Let's see what the story is. Jarasandha was the son of King Brihadratha. Brihadratha ruled over the kingdom of Magadha. They said this dynasty ruled for almost about 2600 years. The king had married two wives. He had two wives. They were twin daughters of the Kashi king. The king of Kashi, he had two twin daughters and he married them. Brihadratha, that is Jarasandha's father. And the king loved both his wives equally, and then he never had any liking to one another and then dislike. He liked both of them equally. However, both the wives were childless. They did not have any issues. And the king, he was desperate to get a child so that the king could be passed on to the sons. The kingdom could be passed on to the heirs. So it so happened that one day a sage named Chandakaushika visited the king Brihadratha's kingdom, and while speaking to him, he understood that he wanted a child, and then understanding his problem, Chandakaushika gave him a special fruit, a kind of fruit which had the potential to give birth to children, like that. This kind of a special fruit as a boon. The king, in his desire to treat both wives equally, he didn't want to give what the special fruit to one queen and the other deprive the other queen. So he cut the fruit into two parts and then gave one part to one of his wives, the other to the other wife. So he divided the fruit, gave two equal halves to each wives. Now miraculously, both wives, after consuming the fruit, they became pregnant. And because they had consumed half of the fruit, they both became pregnant. However, when they gave birth, it was not what they expected. Each wife gave birth to half of a human body. One wife, she gave birth to half of a human body. The other wife, she gave half of a human body. Anybody would be horrified to look at that kind of a child with one eyes on one side, completely slit, and then you see only a half of this, and then the other wife also is getting half of this. It was an horrifying look to look at it, and they were perplexing sight. Having seen these two lifeless halves of a child, halves of a baby, King Brihadratha was also, he was distressed, he was very unhappy, and then he was frightened also. He abandoned the child. He ordered the halves to be discarded in a forest, nearby forest somewhere, as they were very strange and then frightening to keep them. And how do you keep them also lifeless and all those things? So now, interestingly, it turns another turn here. There was a Rakshasi, there was a lady who was wicked lady named Jara. This female demon, this Rakshasi, she while going around, she saw this two discarded halves. She saw that, and then she thought that was something human, kind of a human thing is there. Let me eat. See, because normally, probably they were eating uh, flesh and all those things. So she thought that, and she picked up. She picked one with the right hand, and the other half also was lying there. She picked up in the left hand. Both she picked them up, and then holding the pieces in her arms, she brought them nearby together. When she did this, something special and magic thing happened. The two halves merged into one and transformed into a living child. When both the pieces were brought together, it became a child, pieces joined together, and it was life. It was full of life, and it started crying so loud, crying louder, louder. This child's cries filled the forest, and Jara was taken aback. She couldn't bear, she didn't want to harm that living child. She also felt, this child is so nice, and then something. She was also frightened by while joining the two pieces, it became a child, and then if I eat, something would happen. Therefore, she decided to return the baby to the king. The entire thing, whatever special things happen, it will be given to the king. So she brought this baby and then gave it to the king Brihadratha. The king was overjoyed to see his long awaited heir, and to honor the Rakshasi Jara. This Jara, she had brought it. So he, who had unknowingly brought this child, he named it as baby Jarasandha. Jara is the Rakshasi's name, Sandha is joining together. This story, a simple story, the story holds several symbolic elements. The divided fruit represents the idea of balance and fairness in the king's treatment of his wives. So he was so impartial to both his wives. The birth of the human child symbolizes the unusual and unexplainable act of nature. This is another kind of a symbolic element which gives us some kind of a message. Jara's act of bringing the child to life is a symbol of interconnectedness of all living beings and the potential for transformation and unity. We can look at it this way. Jarasandha's name itself, the one who is joined by Jara, reflects the idea that he was created by joining the two halves by Jara. The story showcases the unexpected and miraculous ways in which life and destiny unfold emphasizing the importance of compassion and interconnectedness of all beings in the grand Mahabharata epic. Viewers, I think you like this story. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.